Yeah, and we see Lafayette getting involved immediately. Unfortunately, that time, the backhand just too far.
Well, we saw it in our opening showcase game, that mixed division matchup a couple of hours ago. It was dirty holds to start us off, so let's see what the Canadians can do on defense. Obviously getting a lot of touch there, but just a fair fight, and that's a nice bit of eyes, but again, the overshoot.
That's great defense, though, from number 24, Lucrezia Grossi. She was one of the stars of the Italian under-20s team that managed to win bronze at WJUC this summer. And do you know what country they won bronze over, Anna? It was the Canadians themselves, so a bit of a grudge match here for Chile against people who took bronze off their compatriots.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a long couple of years doing this full-time, Mark. And it's about which under-20s tournament we're talking about. But, of course, that youth division prowess really showing the bright future of this wonderful sport. So Chile, again, now managing to make their way almost all the way upfield, but it is going to be end zone eyes, unfortunately, for Virginia Watson, who has quite a bucket of throws.
Absolutely, playing 22 years, so a whole load of experience and showing it there through a throwing range.
Well, and of course, this Chile roster might have a few loose connections. We know that Tequila play with each other. They're a proper, fully fleshed out club over in Rimini in Italy. But this is a collection of athletes that are all connected to Tammy Du in number 10. But that's a great bit of defense, just making sure it stays in the dust. So Wunderlich, inside flick for the break of score. And the Canadians keeping it Chile and getting the first break on the board.
Yeah, that's an excellent throw from Wunderlich there. She's one of the key throws for this team, and we'll have to watch out for her as the game goes on.
Well, I'm going to challenge you, Mark. I reckon, can we get maybe at least 2 more Wunderlich puns, coming into our commentary?
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine so. A really strong thrower on grass, and with the pitch even shorter on beach, she'll be able to show off that throwing range even more so.
Well, Tequila Elite conceding 1 break to start their tournament off. Of course, they're no strangers to the sands here in Portimão. They were in force back in 2022.
Absolutely, and a lot of them hailing from Rimini, which is home of the legendary beach tournament Paganello, so absolutely no strangers to the sands.
Have you played Paganello yourself, Mark?
I have not. It's absolutely on the bucket list. I've only ever heard good things about it.
I can tell you, the spaghetti, as that one slips away like a little bit of pasta that's been left too long in the pot. The spaghetti and wine night on day 1 of Rimini is definitely one not to be missed. So Chile with a second opportunity for a break. This is lovely flow. High release backhand, well taken, using the space very effectively. Good patience. Cheryl Ng now seeking opportunity, has Alex Chin grinding up the line. Oh, can she run it down? The bid is there, but the disc does not make it into the hands.
That was excellent work from Chile, swinging the disc, and then got stuck with a high stall on the sideline. That's what led to the turn eventually.
Well, not the dream start that Tequila Elite would have wanted, but that is a pretty dreamy pass. High release against the gentlest of breezes, and that one will come off good. 1 each.
Yeah, Nicole Lafayette showing why she's a talisman for this team. A perfectly weighted backhand into the end zone there.
It's an interesting sort of feature, especially on beach, Mark, that actually oftentimes it's the upwind goals that are easier to score, whereas on grass, it's a bit more evenly matched.
Absolutely, especially coming from such a long summer season playing on grass. I think a lot of these players still need to calibrate to the slower pace of the cuts on the sand and really realize that they need to weight the throws more. So the wind kind of being an aid in that factor.
So Tequila Boom Boom with their first opportunity to come out on defense and try and bring us back on serve. But all level at the moment as that one takes a little while to be tracked down and fielded. Oh, and there's the layout! Fantastic defense soaring through Albani. Now, can she do anything with it? It's an easy backhand, and we indeed have the response straight back for Tequila Boom Boom.
Yeah, excellent pressure right off the pull. Get to the, and then it's always easy to get a break when you've got a short field, so excellent work from Tequila to stay composed and put that one in.
Well, it was a risky bit of action fielding that one and snaffled up absolutely fantastically. It's almost like Albani was sitting on that back shoulder for an extra little half a heartbeat.
Absolutely, and Albani, one of the next generation of this Tequila team, one of the stars of that Italian under-20s team, leading them in goals, but not only that, also leading Tequila Boom Boom in goals during the club season. So to do it on that stage at such a young age, really promising future.
And also coming out on the D-line.
There we go.
I guess maybe there is a little bit of a feature of maybe on a grass team she might feature more heavily on offense, just because you have a higher number of athletes. Of course, 7 aside on grass, 5 aside here on beach.
But what a luxury to have a player of that caliber on your D-line. It really speaks to the quality and depth that the Rimini program in general have.
Well, after an absolutely diamond downwind pull, that one not quite reaching the mark, so they're going to be bricked. Lose a little bit of distance, but have a central pitch position. So Chile not able to put in an offensive hold yet, and that one will be a bridge too far as well. A little bit of hesitation to get it underway for Ubernati. And it's a ripper of a backhand. Oh, so close, but yet so far. Merli finds the mark with the shot, and that will be 2 breaks on the bounce for Tequila Elite.
Yeah, that's excellent movement from Tequila off the turn, getting to the break side, and then there's so much room to get that hook off. Hits the cutter in stride. Excellent play.
Well, I also love the trust there. I mean, clearly you've absolutely blazed your matchup in terms of just hitting that deep nice and early. But there were 2 Chile players in that area, and still the shot goes up.
Incredible. I think we've seen after those first couple of throwaways in the early points, Tequila Elite are really starting to dial in those throws, and now they're finding those trust matchups that they're so used to throwing to.
Well, what a difference after conceding the first goal on the break. Tequila punching 3 on the bounce. Must be an interesting feeling for Chile, their opening game, to have ground out that rather gritty defensive break and then to concede 3.
Absolutely, especially to start off the tournament. You've already got the highs and lows, but it's interesting to see how they respond now after a great pull from Tequila.
And a little scuff on the fielding of the pull, but all worked. Haven't seen Chile really rip it deep too often, but that's a nice inside high release forehand. A leader bomb of a backhand that is snaffled up with ease and immediately ripped towards the end zone. My goodness, talk about a fast counter attack. Great heads up movement from Beatriz Delaro getting that one.
And Tequila are just looking too fast right now. They're not even giving Chile a chance to set up on the turn and hitting with these quick strikes after they've turned over.
We do see a lot of Italian teams talk about that counter attack, but that one just a little bit too loose. I like the aggression on the defense as well, to kind of just see, well, I can have a go at that. I'm in quite a good position to go get it too, and then loosing it deep. If you were running the clipboard for Chile right now, Mark, because we haven't seen either team take a timeout, what would you be saying?
I think it would be a great time to call a timeout. I also think if we look now, they're playing to the slight downwind end zone, so I think it'd be a great time to call a set play or look for a quick score, get their O-line off the field, and get that D-line that did so well on the first point back out there.
It feels a lot like Tequila Elite are certainly fronting Chile, thinking, well, we're quite young and quite athletic. Maybe we can try and push you away from the disc and run it down. But I'd like to see them take on a couple shots.
100%. And that is what these Canadian teams are known for, the North American style of Frisbee. Very focused on set plays and isolating players for big shots, so hopefully they can pull a few off now.
Well, it just seems to be a rudimentary vertical stack. That's a lovely throw, but it's just a little bit too much laser, and Wu can't reel it in. Full pitch stretch though, and that one might be a bit too much. It is indeed. Pironi has a look, but that one just fades away.
Short field here for Chile. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Nice exploitation of where the defense is that little bit looser. Of course, Chile is a classic bit of Frisbee jargon, talking about calm, controlled offense, and we just got a little taste of that. Joyce Cheng with the goal, and that looked very smooth for the first offensive hold of their game.
Absolutely, living up to their name there. And what I particularly like about that one is that's the exact same spot where they turned over earlier in the game, showing the composure, showing they've learned from that, and a really nice lead-up line for the goal.
Well, for the first time in a little while, the quick counter response of Tequila Elite sees them come unstuck. Get another look at that lovely upline throw. So the wind conditions for a beach ultimate tournament at the moment, relatively low. We started with a completely still day though, which I think would have been unfair, Mark.
Absolutely, especially with the propensity for big plays that sand gives. That with no wind, it's a cheat code for the offense, really.
We'll see attacks. Oh, that is quite a spicy biscuit. Coming back down to earth like a comet, but easy in the end for Maria Battistini.
Yeah, speaking of cheat codes, when you can fade a flick to the break side like that, there's absolutely no chance of the defense getting to it. What an excellent put.
Well, Chile trying to find their way back into this game, but 2 offensive holds gives us a nice bit of rhythm.
Exactly, and I'd say Tequila are delighted to get their D-line back out in the field. Really clean hold from their O-line, not giving the Chile team a lot of time to rest, so we'll see if they can capitalize on that now.
Well, we do have a massive crew of volunteer staff, but I haven't heard too many whistles being required to move the game along. Of course, there are regulations about how much time is allowed between points, how long you can take bringing the disc back into play, all to kind of keep the game moving, stop anyone from dribbling out the clock. But certainly Tequila Elite in no hurry to close this one out. Nice, smooth moving so far. Wu. Oh, but throws it directly into the jaws of the defense. Albani with another block. Gonna go for the bookends. Oh, but it has a touch on the disc that sends it away. Excellent defensive positioning. I think that was Wu.
Yeah, great defensive plays on both ends of this there. Albani with their second D of the game, trying to put her mark on it from the D-line.
Well, we are just after the lunchtime window, so maybe Albani didn't get quite enough to eat and is hungry for more. But that going to be have a little discussion about the foul, and it looks like it's immediately accepted. So that'll be back in the hands of Stephanie Wu. Quick discussion with Martinini. Trying to just use the speed to grind up the sideline, but that's a very difficult defensive matchup to take bodily-wise, but a beautiful break backhand off of Julia Merli. And Tequila Elite charging ahead now, 6-2.
Yeah, incredible pressure from Tequila. That's 2 first pass turns, not letting Chile get off their goal line even. Great credit to them, and also the pulls that they've been throwing up. They've been pinning them back every point, and we see it taking its toll now.
It's also, I think, became a bit more apparent to me in that point, Mark. We talk a lot about height that comes out of North America oftentimes. You know, we talk about the classic, you know, Japan-USA women's matchup. How do you overcome all these giant beastie humans? But actually, I think in this match, a lot of the person defense that Tequila Elite are playing with, it's because they have a lot of physical athletes that are very big marks, very difficult to kind of scoot away from, and they're playing very close as well to their opponents, making those spaces really small.
100%, and I think it speaks to a trend we're seeing in European Ultimate in general, which is these really high-level athletes coming from other sports. Albani, who got the D there, a former national team soccer player for Italy. And that's a trend we're seeing, you know, with Dan Demarais and Betrancourt in the Open division, and great to see it in the women's division too.
That's true, but I don't think either of those gents managed to snub their own national team to play Ultimate. I love that for a bit of swagger for Albani. Yeah, I could have played a sport that's got loads of funding, but I chose to be here where the true heroes are. Nice up line. Oh, bobble on the catch though, and that one gets away from Woodward. Ripper of a backhand, but not quite the connection downfield with Merle. She had different ideas, and I love the ownership. 2 hands high, my bad.
Absolutely, and it's great to see Tequila sticking to the game plan though, looking to strike quickly on the turn. It didn't work out that time, but it's very clear that they've got their strategy worked out for this match.
Boost it.
My favorite kind of strategy.
I mean, 2 handlers in the booth. It's always going to happen. So Woodward, Mel as she's known. Keep things formal though with our full names. Woodward running a little bit out of options and just chucks it, and see that one. Oh, nearly got bobbled on for a second effort. But Tammy Du not able to realize it was there until a little too late. Oh, but that is just like a warmed knife through the silkiest butter. Martinini with a visionary backhand.
Absolutely, and that's Briolini's first goal of the game, but I don't think it'll be her last. An amazing goal scorer for both the Italian national teams and Tequila at the club level. So
7-2, of course, half time here on the sand. Tequila Elite really just opening up. Of course, they are missing one of their key players who's playing in the mixed division with Margarita Mixed. Has come to have a little look, stood on our sideline talking to a very damp Stefan Rapazzo. Of course, Carmen Lagala, who recently played at the EUCF with Moon Cup, had a fantastic offensive performance, especially in the games leading up to the final. But it's always nice to see the younger, newer players on a roster really taking and shining.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really great to see Carmen playing for, you know, proud Irish team, Margarita Mixed. And then, yeah, also leaving a chance for these really impressive young athletes to shine on the world stage.
Oh, well, there we go. There is the long last, the dulcet tones of a whistle being blown on the sidelines, signaling us getting ready to go back into play. And Chile starting on offense. They have only had 1 offensive hold so far this game, and that one is just going to be, again, a little bit too far. Big pressure, and it's being signaled as leaving the inbound part of the pitch quite early, so a gift for Tequila Elite.
Yeah, unfortunately that throw never came back in bounds, but I like that look from Chile. You know, Tequila have been playing really good defense on the open side, so getting those swings off to the break side and looking to put out into space where the defenders don't have a bid is really, really good.
When Chile's offense has looked its best, it has been about just being intelligent, and actually a lot of the time Tequila are finding themselves poached off into spaces to try and challenge open side lanes, I think. And it is nice when they notify that, but they're going to have to get the disc back off these Rimini athletes first. Swinging it nice and easy. Albani seeking an option, just Takes the lateral pass. Martinini now. Happy to keep dishing. Grossi, nice close-up of the around space, but just working it with that window of opportunity that emerges on the break side for an easy break coming into the second half.
And that was a period of excellent open side pressure of their own from Chile, but we see the throwing prowess of these Italians finding the break side with a lovely inside, and then that sets up a wide open continuation.
Yeah, perhaps a slight over poach on the force to prevent that around pass, but great team cohesion on the offense to identify that little moment and take advantage. So Tequila sailing 6 points clear in the opening round here, of course, in the women's division, the World Beach Ultimate Championships in the club section. Tequila with a nice ball that's fielded fantastically well. Slightly less deep, but Chile trying to find their form. That's a nice turn over the shoulder. Ooh, nearly the spill for Chen. Xiaoying pops it through to Kimberly. Those two working for the Port Authority for Vancouver, but unfortunately, La Fiata has other ideas getting up in the mixer. Nice footwork, just popping that leg under the tape. Oh, that might be a little bit too much, though, and it is indeed a spoiled and squandered opportunity. Chiara Temoroli, nothing she can do about that.
No, almost an incredible highlight point from La Fiata, getting the point block, towing the line, and just at the final hurdle, that throw slightly too high.
The old conservation of greatness.
I wasn't going to say it.
It's the classic for a reason, Mark. And she can take it. So another opportunity for Chile. They do try and hit something a little bit deeper. Oh, great extra collection for Alex Chin. Then blades it, but it's just a little bit too tricky.
And those two possessions, almost a mirror image of each other. A great grab to save possession and then thrown away straight after.
The Chile sideline starting to try and get everything rolled up. If they can get a short field turnover here, that would really help their chances, and they do. Just a bit of confusion caused.
Yeah, great flash in the lane there just to put off the throw. Earns Chile a short field.
Well, it's Wonderlick to push up, and it's going to be just a bit too far. A great idea, but not a huge amount of lane there to be making that play.
Exactly, that's close to those same third hooks you hear coaches give out about. Lovely weight on that throw, but just the angle to receive it wasn't quite there.
So La Fiata looked off on the initiation cut. Tequila Elite, though, find their form, and there's such separation on these deep cuts. The timing that Tequila Elite are putting together is very impressive, even if sometimes the throws leave something to be desired.
Absolutely. La Fiata doesn't even look like she's running on sand out there. She's so quick, and she said herself that she fell in love with the sport playing at Paganello, so no stranger to running on beach.
Yeah, lesser known fact that actually Paganello has a juniors division.
And we see the dividends it's playing here with the youth on Tequila.
Oh, that's a lovely lefty backhand against the wind and a brilliant read underneath it. Can Chile do anything with it? Feisty fakes, opens up the window, and Cheryl Ng reels in the second offensive hold for Chile's game.
And I think Chile proving to themselves there that when they can force this Tequila D-line to start from static and knock it off those quick hooks, they can put some great pressure on. So going forward in this game, if they want to get back into it, they're going to look to try and stagnate their play.
Well, they are 5 breaks down versus Tequila Elite, which is not deeply surprising based on the performances we've seen from Tequila Boom Boom in years gone by on European sands. Of course, did not make it all the way to the finals back in 2023 in Royan, which is a wonderful tournament, and is, I believe, going to be hosting the next iteration of European Beach Love. Because, of course, this is the world stage. Wonderful to have all of our international friends coming to the party in Portimão.
Absolutely. No better place. If Portimão and Royan were to swap venues each year, I'd be more than happy.
Well, someone who's not going to be happy watching that moment back is going to be Lucrezia Grossi. Puts the hand up, but clangs nothing but air. And this is much more secure offense now from Chile. Great leader into the end zone and a layout goal! Giving us exactly what we want for a live stream. Fantastic hands.
Well, if you ever needed a play to spark a comeback, it's that right there. Excellent throw and a great grab to save possession and score Chile's second break of the game.
Well, who else but the woman who threw this team together? Tammy Du getting it done.
Putting the team together and putting the team on her back. We love to see it.
Well, we talk about team talismans, and certainly Du is one of them, bringing, of course, friends from both the east and west side of Canada. So it's not surprising to see perhaps a couple of struggles with team cohesion, but as the teams take a break on the sands, we'll take one here in the booth as well. Don't go anywhere, folks. Chile starting to bring the comeback. The beaches are warm, the sand is golden, and the sea behind us is crashing far, far away, thankfully, from this wonderful ultimate game going on in the women's division, opening round here at the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024. And Tequila Elite showing all of their prowess as Lucrezia Grossi puts an absolute dime into the end zone. A layout required on the back end of it, but rudimentary stuff for Alice Balista. And that is how you do it, folks.
We see their timeout paid dividends there. A 2-pass set play, easy as you like, just as they drew it up. Excellent work from Tequila.
What do you think is the key, Mark, in how easily Tequila are getting free?
I don't know if it's so much the key to how they're getting free, but it's where they're setting up their hooks from. So they're almost never coming from static. You see them come off these lateral cuts where the mark isn't anywhere near them, and they've all the room in the world to throw those nicely weighted throws.
Well, I suppose if you can set up your throws very well, your teammates just look more open. But Chile certainly are finding their nerves and holding them. Their last couple of offensive possessions have been under a lot of tight match defense.
And I know the Chile team themselves, a lot of them are made up of the club team Drift from Vancouver, who love to employ a cup zone. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that broken out at some point in this game, just to switch it up and try and nullified these set plays that are working so well for Tequila.
Oh, I love a little bit of beach zone, actually. We haven't seen any teams really play it so far this championship, so maybe that will be coming into play later in the tournament. Of course, we are expecting slightly less dreamy weather conditions tomorrow. But Tequila Boom Boom sticking with what's working. Venati getting a hit block. You can just see how open so many of their players are. That's a scintillating catch. What nerves for De Lauro. Oh, but that just looked a little too easy. Great speed being used to great effect for Briolini.
Yeah, no need for a zone for Tequila. Their match defense pressure once again generating another turn, and the crisp offense we're used to seeing on the turn, Hannah.
Well, there were a couple of sticky moments. Of course, that was just a fantastic grab for Beatriz De Lauro. Sort of sandwich between two Chile athletes. But 10-4 the score. And Tequila really starting to run away.
And it's interesting to see that Chile haven't called a timeout yet this game. We saw as soon as Tequila got broken, they called one themselves, but Chile opting to just run it back over and over again.
So Tequila Elite chasing down a very deep pull. It's been such a key part of setting up this smother cover person coverage. Wu sends that one through. A little bit of contact on it, but not too much. Great block. And immediately Tequila spring to their feet. Oh, wow, that is a very feisty disc that's going to sail way too far for Briolini to catch it. Too much gas for the downwind.
Yeah, denied of the bookends there, but the throw just sailing out the back. But an excellent D nonetheless to gain possession in the first place.
You can really tell how much the Tequila defense are trying to prevent the around backhand break, which means that there are so many opportunities to bait and snag the disc on those inside channels. But that one just pings off the fingertips with the distraction from the defender. But a sad miss for Joyce Cheng.
Yeah, that's that pressure on the rounds you're talking about, Hannah. Instantly forcing a tougher throw than they would have liked.
On a slow, calm pickup for Sofia Albani. That is quite a breakthrough. I was almost going to criticize the fact of the lackadaisical sort of, I'm not even going to properly fake, but then just throws an absolute racer through the center pocket. Wow.
Sometimes you wonder if there even is need to fake when you have throws like that.
I think that's probably a statement that could apply to a lot of this game, Mark, don't you?
I think so. The Tequila team, we've talked a lot about their athleticism on defense, but also the throws that they have, they're really showing that off from both their D-line and their O-line, which is a credit to their depth and just the quality of play in general.
Well, Chile did bring two more folks on their original roster. Of course, Maria Fung unable to make it here to Portimão, so big shout out to her watching this one back home. Of course, possibly not the easiest game to have watched up until this point, but Chile have been slowly piecing things together, which we have to remind, of course, you folks who aren't aware, a lot of the Chile athletes didn't know each other ahead of this championship, becoming teammates, learning by doing. This is solid float. Watson with the clock rising though. Oh, that is a beautiful put. Sailing through to Chen in the end zone. Now that is some excellent watching for the neutral viewer.
That's more like it, and might be the best weighted hook we've seen downwind so far. Despite the wind behind it, it just sat on a platter for a receiver.
So V, having had a relatively quiet game on offense up until this point, putting that deeper disc, showing us what they can achieve. And to be fair, it's been a very efficient performance for the person defense of Tequila, really stopping the opportunities for those hucks to come off, because when they have, they look so good for Chile.
Absolutely. V saying that her favorite throw is her forehand hook, and you can tell why. Tequila are right to be afraid of it and try to shut it down.
Although we did get a little bit of intel that there are some heavenly hammers in that box of throws that Tammy Doe has. But that's a little bit too much juice on it for Crozzi to reel in. But an immediate spoil on the first pass, and Crozzi makes no hesitation, just sends it, and an action roll in the end zone for Temeroli, but no disc.
No, the crowd certainly loved that one, but that doesn't get you a goal, unfortunately. Chile have the full 70 to go now. Or should I say, 40 on beach?
There or thereabouts. Of course, one of the unique features compared to most of the other surfaces that Ultimate has played on, save but a few, is that we have the tape in effect, which you can just dig your foot underneath it, but that one too much to ask of Jennifer Chin. Just need a ladder to climb up and catch that one.
Tape can't help you there, unfortunately.
So Tequila squeezing their opponents into small spaces and then winning through in just the same fashion. So 12-5 now the score. A missed opportunity for the break back for Chile. So now they're just going to have to punch in as many offensive holds of their own to keep the game alive, because of course our score cap is at 13 points.
And Chile calling their first time out of the game, looking to regroup as they look to make this comeback.
Well, they will take a brief break to strategize. We will think in the booth as well. Don't go anywhere, folks. This game will conclude in a few minutes. The scenes here at the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024. Mark Doody, inaugural live streaming of this first ever iteration of the World Beach Ultimate Club Championships. Chile sitting several breaks behind Tequila Elite, who are showing some serious finesse. But what do you want to see from Chile in this next point, Mark?
I think more of the same that they showed in the last downwind point. If they can look to set up those downwind flicks, they're absolutely excellent at them. But also, those hammers you talked about wouldn't go amiss either. I
mean, you've got to bring the swaz on the live stream, haven't you? Certainly the opening game of a, you know, just low-stakes tournament that happened on the Gold Coast in Australia recently. That didn't have any scintillating hammers in the opening match, did it? No. Made it onto the telly. Made it onto the actual telly. Of course, if you don't speak a Western European slang, that's television. But that one watched perhaps through gritted teeth by the Canadian fans. Tequila Boom Boom, the elite club iteration, closed this one off with an overall scoreline of 13-5. That final pass, silky smooth with a little bit of footwork just for show. Well, that was quite the game, Mark.
Yeah, a statement win from Tequila, showing just how impressive they are on beach. Incredible athleticism from their young players and incredible experience from their stalwarts like Lafayette.
Yeah, well, looking at the numbers of this game, of course, the clean holds, very, very few. Just shows, of course, the first game of the tournament. I'm sure Chile will go on to develop together their connections. And Tequila Elite, well, their opponents will be scouting them as they head towards the bracket stages, which we expect them to do so. And of course, anyone that can interrupt the flow for those quick counter attacks to the D-line, I think mainly just having someone really actively thinking about the person that's legging it towards the end zone is probably a key factor. But what was your favorite thing about this game, Mark?
I think it was just how impressive the youth for Tequila were. I mean, they're already performing on the world stage here, but you can imagine in world beaches and Euro beaches to come, they're not going to go anywhere. So looking forward to see more of that throughout the tournament and going forward.
Well, an absolutely fantastic performance. They've had such a long-standing history, the women coming out of the beach ultimate scene in Rimini. Looking at the highlights from this game, flying through the skies, the defensive efforts, this person coverage of Tequila Elite is something to be reckoned with, Mark.
Absolutely. It's the defensive pressure and then their ability to go right the other way on the turn, as we see there. Making those intercepts and throwing some picture-perfect hooks. And some even better grabs when they're not so picture-perfect.
Well, all smiles for Tequila Elite. Enjoying our drawing cam. You can see there much earlier on in the game. Because, of course, they just really ran their way through. But hats off to Chile. They started off their tournament with a defensive break of score, and I'm sure their campaign will go on to get them plenty more across the beaches here in Portimão. But we're going to throw down to a sideline interview with Liam Grant. Well, we're having a technical difficulty getting the interview audio to your ears, listening audience, but we'll try and work on it. Just enjoy the views of the Golden Sands here in Portimão. Always nice to be here, of course, alongside many of the local beach bars. We've taken over the entire Praia de Rocha.
I will repeat exactly the same thing.
But we are going to throw down shortly. Oh, we are now.
1, 2.
So enjoy
Liam's testing
this
the mic.
interview with Liam and Lucrezia
Liam Grant
Grossi.
here, the World Beach. We'll do a take 2 of the interview. Lucrezia Grossi here with me. Congratulations on the win, first game of the tournament. How are you feeling after that first game?
I'm really excited. I'm really happy to be here with my team, Tequila Boom Boom. It's wonderful to be here in Portugal, and I'm really happy.
You know, people talking a lot about the Spanish on sand, the Portuguese, but Italians famed for their beach ultimate as well. Have you been putting a lot of preparation to this tournament? How's the build-up been going?
Yeah, obviously we prepared a lot on our sand in Rimini, and also because we're used to play in the sand, because we have a wonderful tournament that is called Paganello, and so I love playing on the beach, and that's fantastic. It's really fun.
And tell us about playing the Canadians there. You had a very strong start. How was the game for you?
We were a little anxious because we didn't know the Canadian team, but as the game started, we noticed that we could manage to play well and we could manage to win this game. So we tried our best and we did good. So I'm really happy.
Congratulations and best of luck in the rest of the tournament. We'll send it back to Hannah and Mark in the booth.
Well, a wonderful interview there with Lucrezia Grossi, of course, one of the players.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.